What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the crazy freak out over J.K. Rowling and Hogwarts Legacy. I was going to still call it the Harry Potter RPG, even though news outlets, even IGN, are still calling it technically that. Here's the deal. I want to make it very, very clear where I stand and as we go, along with this. And I think it's pretty simple. Where I stand is not caring whatsoever what celebrities in Hollywood and just any kind of industry say. They are their own people, and while I don't agree with J.K. Rowling taking shots and doing all the stuff that she's doing, here's the deal. And I mean, that's where I stand on it. But here's the deal. She is a person, just like you and I are a person, and we do not have to listen to each other. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that's the biggest thing. And when I see the internet collectively, and I think it's a small group, I truly believe it is a small group of people freaking out over this, it shows a couple things. It shows their double standards, it shows they're hypocrites, and it shows that they care too much, and all three of those, by the way, kind of, I think, are fused into one, which we'll talk about, and they care too much about what she says. Again, she is a person. She made books, and then they got turned into movies. She had a lot of say, and there's been lots of spin-off stuff in terms of lore, in terms of all this kind of thing, okay? And you can still like the books and like the movies and not like her. That's completely fine. You have every right to support or not support something. And that is, I think, to me, the driving thing. Because when I see people now saying to boycott Hogwarts Legacy because she had a little bit to do. I mean, she had like the smallest amount to do with it. Or I saw Jim Sterling say, basically, you guys can pretend to yourself that she's not going to make royalty money, so go ahead and buy the game because you guys are basically losers. I mean, get off your high horse. In my opinion, I mean, I used to watch Jim Sterling. I've stopped that a long, long time ago. I think he's not a very smart person. I think he's very, again, hypocritical because then if you do something like, say, like a Charlie's Angels that came out, right, last year, what happened with that one? Well, there was a lot of woke stuff. There was a lot of female empowerment done the wrong way. And when people point that stuff out, what are they met with the I guess the controlling force of the internet? They're met with, you guys are babies, you guys are focusing too much on that, you're telling people to not go see it. They have their right to go see it. They have every right to go see the movie. And oh, by the way, you guys are in the wrong. And those are the exact same, and that's what Kotaku does, that's what IGN does, that's what Jim Sterling does, that's what all of these people do. And I'm not just saying that, I'm talking about the people freaking out over this game. They're the exact same people that were doing it to others when it goes the other way, basically. When it's beneficial to them, they will jump on it. And ultimately, here's the deal. A lot of these lunatics, and I will call them out. I will, because ultimately, if people think like this, like Jim Sterling and all of them, I don't think they're going to watch these videos. They may, and I mean, I don't hate anybody, so I'm going to welcome them just like anybody else. But I mean, factually, I think we're going to have just so many disagreements that they're not going to stay long on the channel, okay? Or even people that watch this video, watch any Hogwarts Legacy video, if they want to talk about J.K. Rowling and be on that ship, eventually they're going to find out that I'm just not, and it's probably just not going to work out in terms of them consuming my content. Okay, so I really have no problem calling them out, but to me that is the biggest thing. Is it's exactly, in fact, it still goes the way of what people like me, people like, I don't know, just others on the internet that tell you, don't base your stuff off of celebrities. If celebrities tell you to vote, remember back in 2016 when every celebrity under the sun said go vote, and it's like, oh yes, I forgot the election day, but thank you, for providing me all this kind of. I don't care. They're actors. Now, I'm not saying like I don't even, because I think some honestly take it too far. Some say they literally are just actors. They shouldn't be allowed to say anything else. No, I mean, everybody, because you could say that about me. I talk about video games. Why should I be able to talk about politics? Why should I have an opinion on this or that? Everybody has the right to talk about whatever. It's your choice if you want to listen to them. Now, for them, I just flat out don't. I don't care what J.K. Rowling is doing right now. To me, I've never read a book of her. Firstly, I don't read books. Secondly, I've never read a book of hers besides Harry Potter, and I never will. I love Harry Potter. I love that world. Fantastic Beasts is solid, that series, but it's not the books, the movies. The first one I thought was really solid. Second one I didn't think was very solid. We'll see where they go. But the lore and mythology and just how special, especially those base 8 movies and the 7 books. I mean, they are just so special. That's why and I'm not even gonna say that's why I care for because I don't. I actually do not care about J.K. Rowling at all. Just like for a lot of now, are some celebrities seemingly good people, and I like that, and I think, oh yeah, they're cool dude. Like Jack Black. Jack Black is awesome. I love Jack Black. Okay, I've watched so many of his movies throughout 20 plus years. I watched Jablinski Games on YouTube. He seems like a really, and now even if he came out and he said something I disagree with, it's his right to say whatever he wants, and I just have to choose if I'm going to keep liking him or not. And that's ultimately the biggest thing. We all have a choice in this world if we're going to go along with it and support it or turn our backs. And it's up, and it's not even a bad thing to do either of those. So, and that's a thing to note too, is if you are on this bandwagon of attacking the game and being so upset, that's fine. I have nothing, that's completely your choice, but I just don't get it. Because let's go through again the couple of key facts here. J.K. Rowling had almost nothing to do with this game. Now, was she consulted for it? Yes. Was she probably asked some questions on it? Yes. So, factually, she did touch this game just a little. If you're unhappy with that, then don't buy it. But again, the people that are unhappy with something so, I think, as simple as that, they're not the ones that I think are going to buy the game anyway. Now, you could argue the same thing when people say all this stuff about Hollywood culture and all this stuff about these movies going woke and all that stuff. They may have never watched the movie in the first place. You could argue that, and there's two sides to everything, but that's the first thing. Second thing is these royalties. Again, it just doesn't matter what they're trying to do. So when Kotaku published that article a few days ago and their tweet, I'm not even going to say it, but they called her the word. That is heavy. Whether or not she is, whether or not they believe it, firstly, they stated it as fact. That's not exactly, that's quite a leap. Kotaku took, in my opinion, an enormous leap with that tweet. If you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to show it. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't want YouTube to get mad. But that was insane what they did. And firstly, I just don't think that's right. But secondly, it's like, again, who cares? The game, I think, is going to be great. The game is completely outside of all that stuff. But more importantly, the biggest point to drive home is, again, these are the people that just jump ship. The people that you're siding with, if you side with Jim Sterling, if you side with Kotaku, they are the exact same people that when something else, again, because I know they've done it. They are literally pioneers of it. When, again, you point out something in a movie where you're like, oh, this is literally thrown in there for either forced diversity or forced like women empowerment, which again, you don't need to have forced diversity. Just have diversity and make it good. You don't have to have woman empowerment forced. You just do it. You know what I mean? And movies do it all the time. But it's when they want to make a point, do they then throw it in your face and say, oh, they're cool because they're a woman. Oh, and there's really nothing else about them. Like, do they have backstories? No. Do they have like a character? No. They're a woman. You're supposed to like them. They're a woman. And that's it. That's their entire thing. And by the way, if you don't see the movie, you're a certain kind of person. You're a certain kind of word, okay? Those are the exact same people that say that are now saying this. So they're the ones who take shots at those that criticize movies, criticize games, criticize entertainment when these things are forced in. But then they're more than happy to take the opposite side when, again, it best helps them out, okay? And this is a situation where, yeah, they have to do this because all these people that have always been on this kind of side, they can't play this game. And if they do, they are their own hypocrites. And they can't do that to their fan base because their fan base is so mindless that they're, you know what I mean? Like, they all follow the exact same routine every day. That's just how it is. They can't switch it, and they can't say, well, you do have a right to not buy it, or you can buy it. Like, it's okay either way. Well, no. That's not how it works. Like, in their way, it's you must go see this movie even though others are telling you maybe you shouldn't. Nobody else is ever demanding it, by the way. It's only them that demand it. They are demanding you go see the product, and then in this case, they're demanding that you do not buy the product. They're not saying you have a choice. They're not saying that the Jim Sterling thing really ticks me off because he literally is saying, people are going to buy this game, and you are all part of the problem, and you are all helping J.K. Rowling, and you're all kind of brainwashing yourself to maybe think that you're not helping her. It's like, how on your high horse can you be? He needs to get knocked down off that, because that's just an absolute, that's sickening, that's disgusting. Because again, you have a right, just like you have a right to see a movie or not see a movie, but he'll be the first one to tell you that you should see it, and don't listen to those that say that you again maybe shouldn't, because don't forget, it's always their way. For them, it's all the way. It's never part of the way, it's all the way. And that's very, very important to think about when you think of woke culture, which, by the way, that's what this is, because there's just really no other way I think I can describe it. Bottom line, I'm getting this game. I don't care if the money goes to J.K. Rowling. You want to know why? Because I don't care about J.K. Rowling. I could truly care less about what happens to her or what she does from this point going forward, or ever. I never did, okay? Unless she makes a new Harry Potter or something, and then maybe I'll have a small amount of interest, okay? That's where I stand on it. I don't really, you know what I mean? I'm not going to let it destroy the hype for this game, especially me, if you guys know who I am, right? I've been covering this game for you. I'm literally the pioneer of covering this game. So, again, when I see this stuff, it's just an absolute joke. Sorry I got so heated. Very different kind of video for me, but I really, really enjoyed making it. Hopefully, you guys did too. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did I take it too far? Do you guys see where I'm coming from? All that stuff. Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. And so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.